Season 2, Episode 10 of Adventures in Fly Tying with Flyfish Ohio. Thanks for joining us. We have a crazy fly for you guys today. There's no fiction in this one. Where's the Gimp? He's asleep. Wake him up. This is the Gimp fly. This is actually a wet fly that I've been tying since I was a kid. I think I started tying this fly in the early 1970s. I can't even remember where I got this. I thought it was from Art Flick's Master Fly Tying Guide. Jim and I were sitting around trying to figure out what fly do we want to tie next, and he saw this one in Stewart and Allen's book, Flies for Trout, and it just dawned on me, yeah, nobody ties this fly anymore, but it is a fantastic fly. Great trout fly. Let me tell you what, use this one for bluegills too. Oh my God, this thing is just killer everywhere you go. Very unique. It's called the Gimp fly because it uses something called a Gimp feather. What's a Gimp feather? That is a Lady Amherst pheasant neck. Beautiful. They're used for cheeks on streamers. Sometimes the crests, which have that beautiful scarlet color, are used for topping on salmon flies. But there's a hidden treasure. Inside of the Lady Amherst pheasant, at the bottom of every one of these beautiful feathers, is the Gimp feather. That's the Gimp. That's what makes this fly so neat. It's material that you normally wouldn't use. We're going to tie this in a size 14 today. Guys, gals, you got to have this fly in your kit. I'm excited about this one. This is neat. I can't wait to go out and fish it again. And what a time for it as we go into the late summer, early fall kind of a fishing season. We're tying this today on a size 14 wet fly hook. You can use a standard wet fly hook. I'm using an up-eye hook from Gaelic Supreme, which is a very nice little hook. It just has kind of a jaunty appearance. I love those up-eye hooks. I think that they're very classy looking. And of course, this being very much a classic pattern, we want to use that. I'm using a standard 8/0 or 70 denier tying thread. I'm going to start my thread right behind the hook eye and lay a good foundation of thread all the way to the back to a point right above the barb of the hook. Practice good thread control on this. This is a small fly, so you really want to practice good thread control so you don't have it all bulked out. Now the tail on this fly is very simple. The tail is a little bit of dun hen hackle. I'm using a wonderful blue-gray dun hen hackle that I'm going to use for this, and that's also what you're going to use for the hackle up front. So what I do is I take one little feather, strip off just enough for the tail, clip the ends, and tie in that tail. Now I'm going to run my thread to a point, maybe 2 hook eyes back from the beginning of the hook eye. Now I'm going to tie in my body, which is made out of a gray wool yarn. What I've done is I've clipped about 3 inches of the gray yarn. The yarn is a multi-ply, so using my scissor tips, I'll just go into the yarn and split that yarn into the different plies and pull them apart. Now that one ply is perfect for this body. Lay it on top of the shank, open spirals back to the point where you tied in the tail, bring it back up, and clip that out in the front. Now go ahead and wind in your gray yarn body. You can make a very segmented body by twisting the yarn in a clockwise direction. That'll tighten it up. That'll give you a good segmented body. If you lay it flat, the fly will be a little bit less durable, but it'll be a little bit buggier looking. But in this case, that Gimp feather is going to give us a really buggy looking fly to begin with, so I want a little more durability out of the body. Single layer of yarn for that body. Clip off the excess material. Now we're ready to tie in the Gimp feather. I take the Gimp feather from the base of the Lady Amherst pheasant. These are tough. These are not like the aftershaft feathers that we used for the Gart side fly. These are actually pretty tough. I'm going to go ahead and measure that for the right length. Strip off the plumes that I don't want. And by doing that, I'm also flattening that stem for the feather there a little bit, which gives me a good tie-in point. You're going to lay it flat, just like you would for a flat streamer, just like you did for the flat-winged shiner. Once again, that Gimp feather is going to have a lot of action, and that flat wing is really going to help to bring this fly a very unique appearance in the water. So that's tied in flat. You can see that the gimp feather extends beyond the body and really doesn't extend quite to the end of the tail. Just gives the whole fly a little bit of bulk and three-dimensionality. Now we want to go ahead and tie in our hackle. I've prepared a hen hackle by clipping the tip. That's going to be my tying point. Stroking the hackle barbs back. I'm going to put it right in front of that gimp feather and tie that in with just a couple of thread wraps. Then I'm just going to go ahead and wrap a classic soft hackle. 2 or 3 wraps. All that you need. Clip out the hackle stem. Now, one of the nice things about this fly is it's really characterized by a fairly large, well-lacquered head. That black head up on the front, kind of characteristic of that nymph, or that gimp fly, characteristic of it, gives it a little bit of personality. If we tie that head just a little larger than we normally would, throw my whip finish on top of it. Now, a little bit of Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails, which is an excellent head cement for a glossy fly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of it on the edge of a bodkin. Give that a nice shiny coat. That'll make that fly darn near indestructible. When that dries, that'll have just a beautiful appearance. And there you have it. That's the gimp. The gimp, tied with a feather, an aftershaft feather from a Lady Amherst pheasant. I'm going to tell you what, you could go down to the Mad River today and you could poll every fly fisherman that you see on that creek from now until the end of the year, and I'll bet you a nickel you don't find one other person carrying this fly. And you know what that means? That means the fish aren't seeing them either. The gimp. It's a fly that kind of got lost in history, but it's been around for a lot of years. Easy to tie, fun to tie, great for bluegill, awesome for trout. You gotta have this one in your kit. Thanks for joining us. Adventures in Fly Time with Fly Fish Ohio. We'll be back next month with more great flies. Stay safe, do some fishing, have a great time. Thanks.